Hey, what's up? My name is Abdur, and I'm gonna be an MSc student at the University of Toronto starting next fall. Today, I'm joined here by Ankit, a friend and classmate from college. Just like me, Ankit completed his bachelor's from ECE in ECE from NIT Trichy. And at the time when I was applying to Canadian universities, Ankit was applying to European universities for masters in the field of AI, and he got an admit to pursue MSc in AI at the University of Amsterdam. Let's tune in to listen to his inspiring story. Hey, Ankit, thank you very much for taking out some pre Diwali preparation time to join this podcast.
Thank you, Abdur, for having me on your podcast.
Great, man. So, what do you say? Shall we start with the questions?
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead.
Cool, then. So, starting off with the first question, can you talk a little bit about your graduate program at the University of Amsterdam? And what do you like so much about this program?
Yeah, sure. Okay. As Abdur told, I am pursuing Masters in AI at University of Amsterdam. So it's a 2-year course in which it's like 1 year and 2 months you will have the courses, and the next eight months will be the thesis. So in University of Amsterdam, the semester is quite different. So here a semester consists of 3 periods. The first 2 periods are 8 weeks, and the third period is 4 weeks. So in a semester, you have to complete 5 courses in my program. So the two courses in the first 2 periods and one course in the third period, which is of 4 weeks. So I have actually completed my first period right now. So it's like 8 weeks. The first 7 weeks they will be teaching the course, and the last week will be the exams.
Okay.
So it goes like this way. Okay. Regarding the course work, as compared to the other universities, University of Amsterdam offers like courses in direct like machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, NLP, which like other universities does not offer. And if you go into the course outline and the description, like you will see the concepts they are teaching. It's not like widely taught in other universities. That's why I preferred this university as compared to the other European and US universities.
Makes sense. Actually, yeah, that's what I mean, was intriguing to me as well. When I saw the name, it was MSc in AI, as in most of the time when I look into MS programs, I never find, an MS program directly towards AI. It's usually a concentration in CS with
Yeah.
specialization. I mean, an MS in CS and a specialization in AI. So that's great. So I believe that you'll be having all of your courses towards AI, right? You won't have to take any
Yeah.
generic CS courses.
No,
Yeah,
I
right?
don't need to take any generic courses. Like for the first period, I had machine learning one and computer vision one.
Nice.
Beginning from next week, I will have deep learning one and NLP one.
Nice. That sounds cool. Nice, man. So, moving on to the next question. Why did you choose to study in the Netherlands?
Okay, I was not pretty sure that I want to move to Netherlands. I was actually planning to go to Germany, and initially I was searching for Europe. So I went through all the universities in Europe. Then I actually made a Excel sheet in which I finalized like which universities I want to apply for, and I got admits to like German universities and the Dutch universities. So after like having like I had to make my final decision, and after going through the course outline, I preferred Amsterdam as compared to the German university in Saarland, which I got. It was actually in visual computing. So it had only the visual part of AI, not the NLP and the other subjects like fact, like fairness, accountability, and logic kind of thing. So that's why I preferred University of Amsterdam. Also, Amsterdam is like quite a modern city. You will find a lot of startups here for AI. So that's why I preferred Amsterdam as compared to Germany and the rest of the countries of Europe.
Nice. So you weren't looking to apply to US, right?
Yeah. Initially, when I gave my GRE, at that time I was looking, but after seeing the cost of after seeing the tuition fee, I was quite reluctant to apply for US.
Makes sense. True, man. So, um, so you've already moved to the Netherlands, right? So how was
Yeah.
the initial experiences like?
Okay. I moved here in mid of August. So the actual experience was quite smooth because here the corona restrictions are not that uh, hard as compared to India, where you have to wear a mask. Here you don't need to wear a mask outside. If you have to only wear a mask if you're traveling in a public transport.
Okay.
So okay, the flight also was quite smooth, and and actually nobody checked for any like coronavirus test or anything at the airport also. Here, I had to do a 5-day quarantine. That was quite annoying, but nobody checks that if you are doing a quarantine over here. Like it's your own responsibility to be in quarantine for those 5 days.
Okay, I see. So, are you enjoying Amsterdam? Have you roamed anywhere?
Yeah, I have been around the city and the center, uh, and it's actually like you can say it's a nightlife over here. But I haven't been out on most of the night because I have been completing my assignments during that time. During the daytime on weekends, I have been around, and I usually bike to my campus where my classrooms are. It's like 10 kilometers away from my accommodation, so I have to bike like 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers every day to and fro.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see. So,
So
mhm.
I like
Yeah,
come
go
up.
on.
Yeah, I usually take different routes every time so I can like see different parts of the city.
Nice, nice, nice. That's great, man. So I believe Netherlands is pretty small, right? I mean, considering the size, I mean, about the size of the country.
Yeah, Netherlands is quite small and Amsterdam is way too small compared to the people
Okay,
living here. Number of
okay.
people living here. It's too much crowd. If you go to the central part, it's too much crowded over there. And if you go to the shops and the houses, also those are very small over there. So I live like on the outskirts. It's not on the outskirts, but this was a new place which was like formed like 15 years back. Still, not many people live in this area. So it's like 10. It's like mine is like 7 kilometers from the center.
Nice,
So you
nice.
can see that the radius is like 8, 9 kilometers at max. So it's not a big city.
Okay. Also, I was curious as to like, is the program diverse? As in, are there people from multiple areas, from like multiple places around the world, or is it kind of localized to Europe only?
Okay. For this, I will go into 2 points. First, for my program, and then for my accommodation. For
Okay.
my program, it's like the ratio of the Dutch to the international students is like 70 to 30. So 70% are Dutch students. The rest are the international students outside Netherlands. It's mostly European, US, and some people are there from Caribbean islands, which were like governed by which were under the Dutch rule. Now they are like independent, and like very few Indian students are there. For my course, there are only 4 Indian students, including
Oh,
me. Yeah.
out of?
180 students, and it's like
Oh,
you can see the entire world over there. If you come to my accommodation, it's just for international students. Dutch students don't get an accommodation through the university. They have to
oh,
search for on their own. So I was one of the lucky international students to get an accommodation, and my accommodation is quite the best because people are coming from outside in order to my accommodation in order to meet friends, because they don't
uh,
have like a common room or something. We actually have a well maintained common room, and for my accommodation, we have around like more than 150 nationalities in my accommodation.
nice,
So it's
nice.
like you will be meeting a lot of people from different countries and different culture over here.
That sounds cool. So you must have made a lot of friends, I believe.
Yeah, I have like met people from more than like 50 countries till now. There are
Nice.
still a lot of people out there I haven't met because I usually like rarely go down like 1 hour or 2 hour in a day at max.
What is the application process like for MS programs in Europe?
Okay. Do you want to compare to the US ones?
Yeah, yeah, it's up to you. Like, however you feel
Okay.
is right.
Okay. Actually, there's not much difference compared to the US and the European ones. The only difference is that most of the universities don't take the GRE score in consideration here,
Oh,
and the rest of the process is quite same. But for few of the courses, like the one I applied for AI, they had like specific requirements of the courses you should have. Like this many credits you should have in CS practical in the coding part, and this much you should have in the CS theoretical part, and mathematics compared like calculus you should have this much credits, then linear algebra you should have this much credits. So I don't think these are required for the US universities. They just go through the basic course outline which you have taken. But here they go through the courses and they check the course content also, what topics you have studied.
Okay.
Yeah, for that, like I applied to University of Tübingen. Like they went through the entire course description. Like I was lacking like two courses, and one of the course did not had like all the descriptions they needed. So I was actually rejected from Tübingen machine learning
Oh,
program.
okay. I see. See. So they focus more on the courses that you have done in your undergrad, right?
Yeah, how University of Amsterdam takes the admit is that they go through the courses. Like they want to be sure that if you are able to handle you will be able to handle the courses,
Mm.
because MS in AI is a very tough program. To be pretty honest, what I have heard, the graduation rate is only 30%.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like quite low.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the courses are quite tough, and it's so intensive. You don't even get a weekend to enjoy. So I
Oh, I
have been
see.
like working for like last 7 weeks. This is the first weekend I got free because my
Oh,
exams are over.
I see.
So that's why they go through the course description and your CGPA, because they want to be sure that you can handle the courses. Because
Mm-hmm.
every year, because for the first period also, like most of the Dutch students over here, they dropped one of the course. Most of them dropped computer vision one, because it's like you have to devote at least 50 to 55 hours per week.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Okay, that's
yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. So
Yes.
actually, 50% of the my batchmates dropped one of the course. They only did one course, that was machine learning one.
I see. See.
Yeah, and I had to do both the courses because I don't want to push it to the third year, because you
Ah,
need to pay for the third year. Then for the Dutch people, it's quite easy because they have to pay like only 1,000 euros per year. For us,
okay.
it's like quite expensive.
Yeah. So, did you take any external help in filling out your application? I mean, any help from seniors or any consultants?
Okay, not for the application process, but I took help for reviewing my motivation letter.
Hmm.
So I contacted three of my seniors. Two of them are studying in Germany, and one was ECE senior. He's actually doing his PhD in IASC Bangalore. So they actually helped me with the motivation letter.
Okay.
Like I had like a lot of errors in that. They helped me to correct it. Apart
Same,
from
same.
that,
Even I took help
yeah,
in the same thing. So, your
yeah,
motivation letter is the same as SOP, right? Like, is there any
yeah,
major difference? No, right?
it's the same thing. Yeah, just they
Okay.
call motivation letter over here instead of the SOP.
Okay. So, what is the tuition fee and what are the living costs in Netherlands?
Okay, regarding the tuition fee, it varies for different programs. For my program in AI, I have to pay like 15,000 euros per year. So there's a hack or a trick over here. If you have like an account in the SEPA countries or a Dutch bank account, you will get like 30 to 35% of the tuition fee back from the government at the end of your program.
Oh, that's
So
nice, man.
yeah. So it's actually a very good thing because you are getting around like 35% back. So out of like 13.5 lakhs, you will be getting around 3.5 lakhs back. So the tuition fee is not high as compared to the US universities. The 2 year tuition fee will be less as compared to the 1 year tuition fee of US.
Yeah, that is definitely true. That's nice,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Usually, European universities are cheaper, right, compared to the North American ones.
Yeah. Uh, if you go to Germany, they don't charge, most of the universities don't charge any tuition fee. In
Hmm.
Netherlands, also, they only charge for international students. For the
Oh,
Dutch students, it's like 1,000 euros per year.
okay, that is super
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another thing. The Dutch people don't know that my classmates, how much we as an international students pay. They're quite
Yeah.
amazed after hearing like we are paying 15K and they're just paying 1K.
I see.
Yeah.
So, and how are the
Also,
living costs there?
okay. Actually, Amsterdam is like quite expensive, and it's very difficult to find a housing. I was one of the lucky ones to get an accommodation through the university. So I got a studio apartment for like 650 euros per month. But here's another hack over here. So if you are unemployed and if your salary is like below like 31,000 euros, you can apply for housing allowance from the government. So
Okay.
I don't have any source of income right now. So I'm getting like 200 euros back from the government. So
Oh,
I have to pay like 650, but I'm getting 200 euros per month back.
so you're just
So
paying
I have to
around
pay only
450,
like
right?
450. Yeah. It's
That's
quite
nice.
cheap in Netherlands. If you go on finding your own accommodation outside,
Mhm.
then it would be like 900 to 1000 euros, maybe
Okay.
1200 euros for the same room that I'm getting. Maybe you will get a
Oh,
smaller room. Mine is like 23 meters square meters, so it's quite big.
yeah, yeah. Nice, man. So basically, university helped you to get the accommodation, right?
Okay, like through the universities, like they have hired some private accommodations in which we can apply, and the process
Okay.
is like quite fast. You have to apply within like the first 3 to 4 minutes, because this year like 2 years people were applying. The last year once, because the last year it was held
Ah,
online, so they were also given a chance to apply for the accommodation. So this time
okay.
the crowd was twice. So I like filled the form in like 2 minutes. So my number in the queue was like 1,300, and
Oh,
the
oh,
university
oh,
had only like 3,000 rooms.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that is, yeah, definitely crowded. I mean, you're
yeah,
lucky, I believe.
yeah, one of the lucky ones. Because
Yes.
after like still like there are some friends of mine, they are still looking for an accommodation.
Okay, okay. So how do they manage? I mean, if you didn't end up getting through the university accommodations, then what was the other choices to get
Okay,
a room externally?
yeah, you need to get yourself, but it's very difficult to find a room sitting in India because there are a lot of
Mhm.
scams over here. So you need to come here and like find some temporary accommodation, like in a hotel or a hostel, in like shared rooms of like 10 or 12 people living there. So
Mhm.
you have to stay there for like few days or few months. Then once you find an accommodation over here, once you check it out properly,
Mhm.
and don't pay anything beforehand.
Yeah,
That's the main point here. Once you find it out, then you can shift it.
yeah, yeah. I remember when you remember, like I was planning to go to Germany for that, and there were so
Yeah,
many scams. I mean, I was contacted by several people saying that my accommodation is empty. I don't live in Germany, and I live in UK. So you just have to pay me the money, and I'll courier you the key to the apartment. So yeah, just be aware of those things. I mean, to the
yeah.
viewers,
This
yeah.
happens here also. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, it
be
actually
aware
happens
of
pretty
these
much
scams.
everywhere. Even in Canada, this sort of thing happens. So, international students, beware. This is an important point to keep in mind. Thanks, Ankit, for bringing that up. So, uh, so what were your CGPA at the time of applying?
Okay. When I applied at the end of seventh semester because European application starts in December and January. For
Mhm.
Germany, it was like in April. So my CGPA was 8.9. So it was a decent
Nice.
CGPA. It was not that good.
No, it is good.
So my rank was around like 12th or 13th in the EC department consisting of 100 people. So it was quite a decent CGPA. And also here in Netherlands, they don't directly look at the GPA. It's like various things they look. They look into the
Mhm.
GPA, the course contents you have studied, the topics you have studied. They look into the projects you have done. They look into the internships. They look into the research papers. They go into the motivation letter, your CV, and your volunteering experience also. Sometimes
Uh,
they look into.
mhm.
So it's a mix of this. So there's no specific ratio in which how they take this into consideration. So it's an internal process. You won't be able to get it like you can't
I see.
explicitly tell like how they take in.
Mhm. Makes sense. So, what according to you was the highlight of your profile?
Okay. To be pretty honest, I don't know because I don't know the profile of other students. Like if I have the profiles of other students, like it would be quite good in order to compare. But I think my internship at in Germany at FAU surely helped me, uh, and also my volunteering experience because I had been to Europe through ISEC. That also played a
Mhm.
crucial part in this.
Nice, nice. So, yeah, coming to that itself, can you briefly discuss the technical aspects of your profile, like your projects, internships, and research papers?
Yeah. Okay. Regarding the projects, I didn't do any like big projects kind of thing. My projects were like mini projects, and it was like implementing various networks in deep learning. Regarding the internships, I did two internships. The first two technical internships. The first I did in summer of my second year, where I went to IIT BHU and explored like various dimensions of machine learning, like various concepts I implemented over there. And this led me to grab an opportunity at FEU Erlangen in Germany. Because of the coronavirus crisis, it was converted into an online internship. So I worked like under two PhD scholars, in which I had like weekly meetings, and I was like working on a quite a new concept which was never been used. So I made some progress in it, but it wasn't enough to fetch a research paper.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
that surely helped me, and those concepts were actually quite good. Maybe that made a difference in my profile.
Nice, nice. So, yeah, and apart from these, like, what were your GRE and TOEFL scores?
Okay, GRE, I initially had like a very bad score. Then I like initially I was not sure I want to go to US, so that's why I just gave it. Once like after a couple months of after giving GRE, I was like quite sure I don't want to go to US, so I didn't give it again.
Mhm.
So for TOEFL, I had scored 107. The University of Amsterdam like asked for like minimum of 100 score. That's
Okay.
the most I think any university asks.
Any university asks,
So
yeah, yeah, true, true.
yeah, yeah. For German, it's like 92, 94. Like the maximum is 100, I guess.
Yeah, so
So
basically, yeah, I mean, universities in Europe, they don't really consider GRE as important, right? So your
yeah,
TOEFL score matters more.
yeah. This I didn't knew because I didn't check the course like the admission process. I should have checked it earlier, so I wouldn't have given GRE because it was of no use.
I see.
Yeah, this I think I should suggest like people to go through the websites of the admission process and like check the requirements beforehand.
Yeah, yeah. Good point here. So, apart from the technical stuff, what extracurriculars did you have on your profile?
Okay, regarding that, I have actually told that I did volunteering internship in Poland through ISEC 3 years back. Apart from that, I was the president of the Office of the International Relations, through which I really gained a lot of experience, like working. How does the a student body works in with the administration of the NIT Trichy and with the deans? So it was like quite helpful in
Mhm.
helping me to become a leader over here. The kind of the responsibilities I did, so it was quite helpful in making a person I am today. So apart from that, I was part of Festember. Then I worked as a team leader in ISEC also. But yeah, these were the main points.
I see. Nice, nice. Also, what other programs did you apply to?
Okay. Do I need to tell all the universities in the program or just the
Yeah,
program?
it's better if you say both, university and program.
Okay. I mainly applied for AI or visual computing kind of thing. So as I'm studying in AI at University of Amsterdam, that was the first one. Apart from that, I applied for two other universities in Netherlands. The other one was TU Eindhoven, in which I applied for artificial intelligence engineering systems, which was under the W department over there,
Okay.
and masters in AI at University of Groningen. It's in the north in Netherlands.
Mhm.
And the next one was I applied to three universities in Germany. Saarland University, in which I applied for masters in visual computing. University of Tübingen, where I applied for machine learning masters, and
Okay.
RWTH, where I applied for media informatics. Apart from Germany and Netherlands, I applied to Finland, Aalto University. It was in Masters of AI Data Science program, and the other one was Sweden, where I applied at KTH for Masters in
Uh,
Machine Learning. So these
nice.
were
Yeah.
the 8 universities I applied for.
Yeah, that's a handful, man. And you applied, I believe across the Europe. I mean, you didn't really restrict to just one country. I mean, you applied to a diverse set of countries, so that's great.
Yeah.
So, what are the job opportunities like in Europe after graduation?
Okay. After completing your master's program, which is mainly 2 years or 1 year, whichever you have chosen, you will get 1 year for search as a job search visa. So within that 1 year, you can actually like find a job in one of the 26 countries in Schengen area. So you can actually apply to different companies in different countries. So which one you prefer or which one you get is the best option.
I see. So, is there any fair, like job fair or anything that happens in the university, or it's all up to students to find
Okay.
their job?
Yeah, in Netherlands, in University of Amsterdam, there is actually not a job fair kind of thing. There is only a thesis fair in which few of the startups and the companies come. If you do the thesis in those companies and you do it well, they might hire you. But after completing your master's program, if you have done a thesis at the university, you have to find your own job. For that, you will be getting 1 year for that. So it's like
Oh,
a bit tough as compared to the other option, like getting a thesis in a company and then doing it.
a lot of students these days are either planning to or in the phase of applying to MS programs in the field of AI. Would you like to give them some advice?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I think it's high time now because it's already like the starting of November now. So you should actually have started like a bit earlier if you are in the US university, if you are applying to US universities, and like devote your time in writing the SOP. It's one of the most important part, and it will consume like at least a month or a couple. For me, it took me around like 1.5 months. I was applying for the European universities, so I started a bit late. I started in like mid of November, so it was fine for me. So I would advise you to go into that. And also, if you are applying into technical fields, have your like GitHub updated, your LinkedIn updated, and provide those links in your CV. And also
Makes
go through
sense.
the requirement and also go through the requirements of the all the universities beforehand. Make an Excel sheet in which you write all the requirements and tick mark if you are have acquired those things. Like
Mhm.
the letter of recommendation is there. If you have got done from your professor, just tick mark that thing in the Excel sheet. Like make everything like organized in a formal way so that you don't have to like go to the last moment in order to fill the application. Try to fill it like beforehand.
That's some great
Yeah, that
advice, man.
was, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ankit. I'm sure that viewers will find that helpful.
Yeah.
So, for the viewers, if you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below. I will go ahead and share Ankit's LinkedIn in the description for you to contact him directly. Ankit, once again, thank you very much for being here with us. I learned a ton from you today, and I hope the viewers did too. So, guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Thank you, Abdur, for having me here.